facet of who I was under a tight lock and key, only allowing certain parts of myself to be exposed. Turns out, I was a pressure cooker waiting to explode, and one day, in 2006, I lost control and physically assaulted one of my subordinates for doing something stupid. That night, I decided to start seeing a base counselor for my anger issues. I worked hard for about a year to stop living like a robot with no emotions, other than anger, of course. Jokes became funnier, foods tasted better, and Disney movies started to make me tear up. I made lots of progress, or so I thought at the time. But it turns out all of my progress was just a tiny crack in my emotional barricades. And then, in November 2007, the military transferred me across the country yet again. At my new duty station, I tried to continue my therapy, but got told by the military doctor that I was either insane or lying. I didn't go back, but continued to do what I always did, which was to stuff everything into my boots and march forward. Around July of 2014, when I realized I needed help, I went through several therapists before I found one that was willing to work with me. It was very discouraging to be told that I was outside of their scope or beyond their professional abilities. But thankfully, thanks to a friend in our congregation, I finally found the resources I needed to start my metamorphosis from a wooden puppet into a real boy. 10 years ago, I was somebody who was uptight and emotionally numb with very strict controls on myself. I was seeking to blur the barriers I had built around myself. Barriers that kept me safe, but kept me alone and lonely. Maybe I'm finally starting to break out of that protective shell, and I don't know who I am yet. But I finally understand why people buy so many self-help books to aid in defining themselves. For almost a decade, I sought to take my armor off and undefine myself. Yet now, I'm fighting to do just the opposite. I'm at a point in my life where I'm literally taking it one day at a time and questioning everything I know about myself. It's a scary place to be in, not being able to trust your own mind. I have to second-guess myself about everything and tiptoe through each moment of each day, testing the waters of each situation as I go. Am I revealing too much this morning? Is that me talking or the addiction? Does Roz really want to go for a hike with me, or is she just trying to tell me what to do? Am I being overly paranoid, or is this my instinctive mistrust of people? Why is my boss asking me that? Is she testing me? Do I want to be safe and prepared, or is this the PTSD talk? Doesn't everybody memorize the fastest route out of every building, sit with their back to the wall, and keep an axe in their car, just in case? But I trust in my friends here and the people that love me. I follow the path, believe in the process, and I'm learning to love myself, and perhaps, most importantly, forgive myself for the mistakes I've made. Why, oh why, is it so much easier to forgive others than it is to forgive ourselves? No idea, but I guess it takes practice, so I'll need to keep making mistakes so that I can practice forgiving myself. And when we talk about forgiveness of the self, does that come before or after forgiving others? Maybe we can't forgive ourselves until there's absolutely nobody left on the list to forgive but us. Nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to do evil today. And most people don't wake up thinking they're the bad guy. Can I forgive the guy who got me off in traffic? Sure, but not before wishing his car spontaneously explodes. How about the jerk who eats the last donut and leaves the empty box in the break room? Can I forgive the people in my life who've abused me? A schoolyard bully, my exes, people who've stolen from me, the lady who sideswiped my car and then blamed it on me, the tyrannical and toxic leaders who drove some of my fellow soldiers to commit suicide, my parents. It's been almost a decade since my parents and I were on speaking terms. There's no relationship there worth salvaging, and part of me still hurts and mourns the childhood and family that I should have had. My parents are victims of addiction also. I grew up being dragged along to AA meetings because I assumed they couldn't afford to pay a babysitter. The Lord's Prayer and the Serenity Prayer were a regular part of those meetings, and I learned them by osmosis before I was old enough to understand what the words meant. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and here's the important part, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. See, there's that theme again. Forgiving others and needing others to forgive us. But nowhere in there does it say anything about going easy on ourselves. Although one of the slogans of AA is easy does it. No matter how many times I tried to like the coffee, I never did. Now I look in the mirror and sometimes I see my father looking back at me. I promised myself I'd never be like my parents. I promised myself I'd never be an addict. I promised myself I was smarter than that and I would never fall into that trap. Can I forgive myself for breaking those promises? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Good advice, that. Realistically, though, I think we can't really forgive others until we learn to forgive ourselves first. Seems like a good place to start, and if we can start with what is undoubtedly the hardest part, the rest should be easy, right? People just aren't perfect, no matter how hard we try or pretend to be. Yes, we've said that already. I'm not perfect, and that's still perfectly okay. Nothing about that has changed in the last 10 minutes. But we need to keep saying it, we need to keep hearing it, and we need to start believing it. So what's stopping me from saying a few dozen Hail Marys and absolving myself? Can I forgive myself for turning my back on a childhood friend? For being the one who was driving like a jerk? For condemning someone when I should have offered my support? For eating the last donut? For not visiting my sister more often, even though she lives only a few hours away? Can I forgive myself for hating myself? One of the things I'm learning about recovery and self-forgiveness is that you can't pour from an empty cup. Somehow, taking care of myself has always felt like a selfish and indulgent luxury. I've spent my whole life taking care of everyone and everything except me. And I'm feeling a little guilty for wanting, needing the time to get back on track. Or maybe get on track for the very first time. Forgiveness and compassion. We must apply these things to ourselves like yogurt. Liberally and regularly, otherwise something starts to smell sour. When I was in the military, I learned a lot of things. I learned I had to take care of myself, only so that I would be able to take care of my juniors. One of the Marine Corps leadership principles is know yourself and seek self-improvement. I'm trying. I'm trying so very much to know myself. 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and I was almost one of them. Can I forgive myself for almost reducing myself to a statistic? It's hard asking for help. But as one of my mentors recently taught me, nowhere in any of our military training are we ever taught we have to do it alone. Just when you need help, you call for support. Air support, artillery, a medic, a chaplain, a peer, somebody, just call them. And you don't need to ask forgiveness for any of that. Can I forgive myself for not realizing I needed help sooner? Or for being afraid to ask for help in the first place? Asking forgiveness and forgiving others are things we are all taught, starting way back in grade school. We should add to that lesson and include asking for help and forgiving ourselves. A refresher course from time to time wouldn't hurt. I'm still here. People ask me how I am, and I can't tell if they're being sincere. And more often than not, my simple reply comes, I'm still here. The response is always a light chuckle, and it can be interpreted in so very many ways. Working a 12-hour shift? Yep, I'm still here, but I'm happy to have the pay. Pulling an all-nighter? I'm still here, and thankful for this job which feeds my family. Haven't seen you for a few weeks? I'm still here. I haven't been forced due to obligation or circumstance to relocate across the country yet again. I'm still here, and I can put down some roots for the very first time in my life. You're having a bad day? I'm still here for you. Only very rarely is it ever a genuine complaint. A long board meeting at church? I'm still here, but thankful that my friends have put their trust in me. It is a wry, slightly sarcastic answer, perhaps slightly aloof. But for me, it runs deeper than the casual, offhand remark it appears to be on the surface. I'm still here. I haven't given up. I'm still here. I haven't quit. I'm still here. I didn't take my own life. It's my battle cry. I'm still here. A shout of triumph. I'm still here. It's my mantra. I'm still here. My anchor to reality. 3 little words. I'm still here. I exist. I have a place in the universe. I am a part of the here and now, and the here and now is becoming a part of me. I'm still here, fighting the good fight. I'm still here, exploring my own inherent dignity and worth. I'm still here, trying to be the best person I can be, for your sake and for my own. I'm still here, working on figuring out exactly what forgiving myself really means. Well, would you look at the time? It seems like I run a little long. Forgive me.
If you can please stand as you're willing and able and join in the singing of our closing hymn, number 205, Amazing Grace.
Sweet
mission statement, which is also in your order of service. This church provides a safe place to celebrate diversity, draw inspiration for living better lives, foster social and environmental justice, and compassionately support each other in our spiritual searches. I have many thank yous to share for today. First to our speaker for sharing everything you did. To our newly formed quartet of musicians. I don't know if people noticed, they actually gave themselves a name, the Rolling Tones. I hope they'll be back. Our greeters today, Kara and Elizabeth, the folks who are helping out in the kitchen, Diana and Kimberly, and for all those who work behind the scenes to make this church a more beautiful and comfortable place. You're never standing up here to be seen, but your work is definitely appreciated. And finally, I leave you with these closing words from Elizabeth Lesser. Underneath the facades and scars and coping mechanisms, you are good to the core. You are not perfect, but you are good. And when we show each other our whole selves, scars and all, we get down to the marrow, to the soul.